your dietitian and science ambassador from Tetrogen, and I hope you're all keeping very healthy and safe. Today's topic is about fat, and fat is one of the 3 macronutrients. So a macronutrient is a nutrient that you need in large amounts compared to micronutrients like vitamins and minerals, which we need in very small amounts. So the 3 macronutrients are carbohydrates, protein and fat, and you can check out the videos about the other 2 macronutrients, so carbohydrates and protein, in the link below. So let's begin. This is an avocado and this is butter. Both of those foods are high in fat, but we say that avocados are good for you and butter is bad for you. So keep that in mind, and by the end of the video you should have a pretty good understanding of why that is. Okay, so fats are really important. They're needed for energy, to keep us warm, to protect our organs, to help absorb fat-soluble vitamins, so A, D, E and K. Fats are involved in the production of certain hormones, and they help us to have healthier skin, and they're also involved in nerve function. So they have a lot of roles in the body, so long story short, we need fat. But all fat is not alike, and there are different types of fats. So they can be split into 2 main categories. We have saturated fats and we have unsaturated fat. So without going into too much scientific detail, so the C's here represent carbon atoms, and the H's represent the hydrogen atoms, and then the one line represents a single bond. So an important difference between the saturated fat and unsaturated fat is just the type of bond between the two carbon atoms. So for saturated fat, there's a single bond between these, and then for an unsaturated fat there is a double bond between the 2 carbons, and that's the distinction between saturated and unsaturated fat. A lot of you may already know that saturated fats are known to be bad for us. They've been linked to raised LDL cholesterol, which is known as the bad cholesterol, and that is a risk factor for cardiovascular disease. So you should have as little saturated fats as possible, ideally just less than 10% of your total caloric intake. And where are saturated fats? So they're found in animal products like butter, ghee, cheese, lard, and basically any fat in meat. And they're also found in some plant foods like coconut oil, palm oil and cocoa butter. And a good way to help you determine whether a fat is saturated is that it will be solid at room temperature, like this butter for example. Next we have unsaturated fats, or the good fats. And there's evidence to say that replacing saturated fats and refined carbohydrates with unsaturated fats and high quality carbohydrates has been linked to the reduction of cardiovascular disease risk. And unsaturated fats are found in plant foods such as nuts, seeds, olives and avocado, and it's also found in fish. In contrast then to the saturated fats, the unsaturated fats will be liquid at room temperature. So have a look at your olive oil and compare it to your coconut oil or your butter, which should be solid at room temperature. And I also want to point out that we do need both saturated and unsaturated fats. However, most sources of unsaturated fats, like nuts and seeds, also contain a small amount of saturated fats, which is enough. So it's not necessary to eat foods that are really high in saturated fats like butter, because you'll get both types of fats just by eating mostly unsaturated fats. Okay, so something very, very interesting happens when you change the structure of this unsaturated fat molecule, okay? So I've added a hydrogen and then gotten a trans fat here. And trans fats increase the risk of cardiovascular disease, and they should be avoided if possible. They're usually used to increase the shelf life of products and improve the taste, and they can be found in things like microwave popcorn, frozen pizza, margarine, or commercially baked or fried foods like potato chips and donuts. Okay, now that we know about the good fats and the bad fats, let's look at the non-essential and essential fats. So basically, the body is able to make most of the fatty acids that it needs from food. And these fatty acids are called non-essential because we can make them. and we don't need to get them directly from food. But there are some fatty acids that the body can't make itself. These are called essential, and they're called essential because we need to get them directly from the food that we eat. And the essential fatty acids or fats are split up into omega-3 and omega-6. So omega-3 fatty acids, they play a role in brain and nerve and eye development in infants. They also keep our immune system healthy, and they may also help lower the risk of heart disease in adults. So omega-3 fats are found in fatty fish like salmon and mackerel, in omega-3 enriched eggs, flaxseed oil, walnuts, soybeans and canola oil. Omega-6 fats, they play a role in regulating our genes, promoting immune health and blood clotting. So they are found in soybeans, corn, safflower and sunflower oils, nuts, seeds, meat, poultry, fish and eggs. So most people actually get more than enough of omega-6, but not enough omega-3. So it's really important that you put an emphasis on getting enough of both. So let's put this all together. We need fat for optimal health. We should have as little saturated fat and as little trans fats as possible, and have unsaturated fat instead. We also need to make sure that we are eating the essential fatty acids or fats, so omega-3 and omega-6, because our body just can't make these, so we need to get them from food. So by now you should have an understanding of why we say that avocados are good for us and that butter is not. So avocado is it's an unsaturated fat, which is good for our heart health, and if you look at a bottle of avocado oil, it will be liquid at room temperature. And butter, on the other hand, is solid at room temperature. It's a source of saturated fat, which has been linked to increasing the LDL or the bad cholesterol, and that's why it's known as a bad fat. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you took something useful from this video, and I will see you in the next one.